Alright, today's short video is on plotting points. It's really easy as long as you know some of these basic things. Like when you see two numbers inside of the parentheses like this first number is always the x value, the second number is always the y value. That's just something you have to kind of remember. If you know your alphabet, A, B, C, all the way to W, X, Y, Z, it's in alphabetical order, X, comma, Y. You also need to know that your x-axis is the horizontal axis. Horizontal is another key word to know. Horizontal lines go side to side, left to right. And then your y-axis is your vertical axis, which goes up and down. One way I kind of tell students to remember it, if they haven't memorized it already, is if you draw a capital Y, it goes straight down, just like that. Okay? Another thing to know is that this is your 0, 0. So if you're trying to figure out what these coordinates are, you always start here at the 0, 0. When you're graphing, that's another story. But if you're just trying to figure out, oh, where's this point? Where's this point? Always start here at the 0, 0, then you start counting the squares. This is a number line right here. If you act like nothing else is here, this is the normal number line we've been using for many, many years. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. You should not have to number each of these because that just takes up a whole bunch of extra time. Also going up this way, however, this is another number line that goes up and down. If I'm traveling up, these are my positive numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way, just counting by ones. And then if you're traveling down the number line, these are the negative numbers here. A lot of the times you'll see that on some beginner worksheets, they'll put like a negative, so you remember that these are the negatives. Positive, so remember that this is positive. Then over here, these will be your positive side, and this will be your negative side of the number line. So it's kind of like there's two number lines. This is your horizontal number line, and this is your vertical number line. So let's figure out what those points are. Like I was saying, every point has its own, remember from this little thing right here, every point has its own x, comma, y. So if you want to find the x, comma, y for this point, what is it above? What number is this? This is your x. So remember, starting at the 0, 0, that's -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So that's -5. And then the y, you're trying to see kind of like where is it lined up with the y-axis. So it's just up 2. So that's -5 up 2. That's that point. This one right here, remember each point has its own x, comma, y. For this point, if I want to know what the x is, I need to see where it would kind of touch the x-axis if I brought this point up. So that's right here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is on the positive side of 5. However, here we go over 5, then if you just count how many it's down, it goes down 2 squares, that's -2. You can also see that it is lined up with the -2 right here, so that's 5, -2. Sorry, that looks kind of sloppy. This one right here, each point has its own x, comma, y. So starting here at the 0, 0, I want to see where this point is. It's lined up with the x is 2, and the y, starting 1, 2, is at the 3. So that's 2, comma, 3. This should be pretty easy. I believe my daughter just learned it in 5th grade. However, maybe you never learned it. Maybe you were absent that day. Yeah, right. Let me see. Here's another one right here. This one is kind of far up. Remember, starting at the 0, starting at the origin, it's called. I want to see how to get to this point. So what are the directions? I need to go 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, and that's -3. So I go -3 on the x-axis, then I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm counting the squares. All right. For that one, I will go ahead and kind of show how I bounced to that point. So starting here at the 0, 0, I counted 1, 2, 3. So I'm counting the squares. So I went over -3. So that's my first coordinate, -3. Then I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I went up 7. So that's my point, -3, 7. Remember, the first one was my x. Then I went up because that's 7 on the y. I'll show that again with this point. So to get to this point, starting from the origin, I go over 1, 2, 3. Once again, that's a -3. And then, so that's -1, -2, -3. Then how do I get down here as I move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -6. -6 because I moved down. And if you kind of line it up with the y, what number is this lined up with the y? It's down here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's -6. I'll do a couple more. Alright, so like I said, I want to keep these videos kind of short, so I'll show 2 more examples of what if somebody gave you a point like this and then wanted you to plot it. So let's say they gave you 4, 8. One thing to remember is the x always comes first, then the y comes after. And if you're plotting just a plain point, it's not an equation, it's just a point, start at the origin. So it tells you to count 4 squares on the x, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Then from here, you go up 8. Positive means you go up 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So that will be my point 4, 8. I'm just going to label it point A. And then let's do another one. Let's say they gave you -6, 2. So remember, your x comes first, then your y comes second. Start at the origin. So count -6 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's -6. And then you go up 2. So from here, go up 2 squares, and there's our point. We'll just call this one B. So that's point B. Just the random 0, 0, that's your origin. 0, 0, another name for that one is the origin. That's one thing that all students remember. They always know where the origin is and how to find it. It's right there in the middle of the x and y axis. And that's it for this video. I'll put some practice up for this one. I'll send you the link